everyone, and welcome back to English Podcast Avenue, the podcast where we help you think faster, speak smarter, and feel more confident every single day. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Marcus. If you're new here, welcome to the family. We are so excited to have you. And if you're a returning listener, you already know what time it is.
That's right. Today's episode is a big one. We're talking about one of the most requested topics we've ever received: how to think fast and speak smart in English.
You know, Sarah, I remember when I first started learning English, my biggest fear wasn't grammar, it was freezing up. Like someone asks me a question and my brain just goes blank.
Oh yes, we've all been there. That awful silence where you're thinking in your native language, trying to translate, and by the time you have the answer, the moment is gone.
Exactly. So today we're going to give you real practical strategies you can use starting today. No fluff, just stuff that actually works. Let's get into it.
So, Marcus, let's start with the why. Why do English learners, even advanced ones, sometimes freeze up when they need to speak?
Great question. There are actually a few reasons. The first one is what I call translation mode. This is when your brain is working in your first language and trying to convert everything word for word into English.
It's slow and it's exhausting. Right, and the real goal, is to start thinking directly in English, not translating, but actually experiencing ideas in English. And yes, that takes time, but there are ways to speed up that process.
The second reason people freeze is fear of making mistakes. There's this pressure, especially in professional or academic settings, where you feel like every word has to be perfect.
And that fear is the enemy of fluency. Fluency doesn't mean perfection, it means flow. It means keeping the conversation moving, even when you're not 100% sure.
And the third reason is a lack of ready phrases. You know, those automatic expressions that native speakers use without even thinking. Things like, "That's a great point," or "Let me think about that for a second," or "What I mean to say is..."
Oh, I love that you mentioned those. We call them filler phrases or bridging phrases, and they are absolute gold for any English speaker. They buy you time, they sound natural, and they keep the conversation flowing.
We're actually going to share a whole list of those in just a minute. But first, Sarah, let's talk about the mindset shift, because I think that's where everything starts.
Yes. Okay, so here's the mindset shift that changed everything for me personally. Stop trying to speak correctly and start trying to communicate clearly. Those are two very different goals.
Say more about that. What's the difference?
Well, when your goal is to speak correctly, every sentence becomes a test. You're constantly judging yourself. Did I use the right tense? Was that grammar right? Did I pronounce that word correctly? It creates anxiety.
But when your goal is to communicate clearly...
Exactly. You're focused on the message, not the mechanics. Did the other person understand you? Did you connect? That's what matters in real life.
I love that. And honestly, most native speakers don't speak perfectly either. We make grammar mistakes. We use informal language. We ramble. And yet, communication happens.
Right. So give yourself the same grace that you'd give a native speaker. Okay, Marcus, now let's get into the practical stuff, the actual techniques.
All right, technique number 1. Think in chunks, not words. Instead of building sentences word by word, train yourself to think in common word groups, what linguists call chunks or collocations.
For example, instead of remembering make and decision as two separate words, you remember the chunk make a decision. Or instead of strong and coffee, you remember strong coffee. Your brain starts to retrieve whole phrases rather than building them from scratch.
This is a game changer. When you speak in chunks, you sound more natural and you speak faster. Technique number 2, use thinking out loud phrases. These are filler phrases that native speakers use all the time to buy time while their brain catches up.
Let me share some of my favorites. You can say, "That's a really interesting question. It buys you a few seconds to think." Or, "Let me put it this way. Great for when you need to explain something differently." Or how about, "If I understand correctly, perfect for checking your comprehension before you respond."
I also love "so what you're saying is," it restates what the other person said, shows you are listening, and gives you time. And don't underestimate the power of a simple Let me think. It's completely natural and gives you a moment to breathe.
Technique 3, practice shadowing. This is a method where you listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say at the same time or just a split second after. It trains your mouth and your brain to produce English automatically.
You can shadow podcasts like this one. Pause, repeat the sentences. Try to match the rhythm, the tone, the speed. Your brain literally rewires itself over time.
And technique 4, this one's powerful and very simple. Talk to yourself. Narrate your day in English. When you're making breakfast, say, I'm making eggs, I need to add some salt. When you're driving, describe what you see. This keeps English active in your mind all day.
It sounds a little silly, but it genuinely works. You're essentially giving your brain English reps throughout the day, just like a workout. The more reps, the stronger and faster you get.
Okay, Marcus, let's do a mini role play to show these techniques in action. Imagine you're at a work meeting and your colleague asks you a tough question out of nowhere.
Oh, I love this. All right, go for it, Sarah. Put me on the spot.
Okay, pretending to be a colleague. Marcus, what do you think we should do to improve the team's communication?
Let me think about that for a second. That's actually a really great question. If I understand the situation correctly, the main issue is that information isn't flowing between departments. So what I'd suggest, and let me put it this way, is that we start with weekly cross-team check-ins, short ones, maybe 15 minutes. What do you think?
Did you catch that, listeners? Marcus used 3 different thinking phrases right there. Let me think about that for a second, if I understand correctly, and let me put it this way. And he ended with a question to keep the dialogue going. That is smart speaking.
Turning the question back is a great strategy too. It shows engagement and it gives you even more time to collect your thoughts while the other person responds.
Brilliant. And remember, none of that sounded rehearsed or awkward. It sounded natural because those phrases are so common in English conversation that they slide right in without anyone noticing.
All right, we're coming up on time, so let's do a quick recap. Sarah, what are the key takeaways from today?
Number 1, shift your mindset from speaking correctly to communicating clearly. Number 2, think in chunks, not individual words. Number 3, learn and use bridging phrases to buy yourself time. They are completely natural and native speakers use them all the time.
Number 4, practice shadowing with real English audio. Number 5, talk to yourself in English every single day. Narrate your world. And number 6, make mistakes proudly. Mistakes mean you're speaking, and speaking is the only way to get better.
I love that, Marcus. Every mistake is a data point. Every stumble is a step forward. The people who improve the fastest are the ones who are willing to sound imperfect while they grow.
So beautiful. Okay, before we go, your homework for this week. Pick 3 bridging phrases from today's episode and use them in a real conversation. Even if it's with a friend, a colleague, or yourself in the mirror. Practice until they feel natural.
And if you want more episodes like this one, make sure you subscribe to English Podcast Avenue, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave us a review, share us with a friend who's learning English, and send us your questions. We read every single one.
You can find us on Instagram, YouTube, and all the major podcast platforms. We're English Podcast Avenue. Look for the microphone logo.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. You showed up, you listened, you learned, and that is something to be incredibly proud of.
Until next time, keep thinking, keep speaking, and keep growing. This is English Podcast Avenue.
Bye, everyone.
See you next time.